Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hey, can you guys advertise in the usual thing here? Aman, I think you can do it. Yeah. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. All right, so maybe we'll read something here now, a little bit here. But we'll read Bhagavad Gita to start with. Or Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Let's see how that goes. Oops. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Let's see. Let's read the universal form. This is chapter 11. Arjuna said, I have heard of your instruction on confidential spiritual matters, which you have so kindly delivered unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled. So I'll read that again. Arjuna said, I have heard your instruction on confidential spiritual matters, which you have so kindly delivered unto me, and my illusion is now dispelled. So you see, it's the confidential conclusions of the Vedas that dispel the ignorance, the illusion. See, the confidential thing. If you don't hear from a living devotee, topics about confidential, the most confidential subject matters, your illusion cannot be fully dispelled. See? So, it said the more confidential topics you're hearing about from the bona fide spiritual empowered guru, is the degree that you're set free. See, so Arjuna or Krishna, he just kept teaching more and more confidential matters, see, and it dispels more and more illusions. Okay. So purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of Mahavishnu, and from him the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. See? So that's important. That's important to consider a divine being, a person that is empowered by the divine potency, to be an authority. That's the whole problem. People won't listen to real authorities because they don't know their actual position. And that position can be revealed by how? By hearing from them. See? That's why hearing is taught as the best process to advance in spiritual life. Is you hear from a person who you may not even know is empowered by the spiritual potency, which is the highest thing, the greatest thing. See? But you hear from them, and increasingly, by that sound vibration, you're purified, and your illusions are dispelled, and you realize the greatness of that person that's talking to you. See? And not only that, when you hear from a bona fide spiritual master, and it dispels your illusions, it also dispels your illusions about the illusions. See, the illusion about those who are claiming to be authorities but are really not very good authorities. See? So, and that's important, because if we're not submissive to the higher truth, then how can we accept it? How can we get out of this Maya? See? Because if we're Maya is like a whole bunch of illusions, see, tricking people into believing in them, see, believing that this illusion is real, believing, like, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam begin to dispel our illusions gradually, teaching how this world is actually false in a sense. It's temporary, it's full of miseries like this. So, and if you don't hear about these subject matters, that this world is just a temporary thing, it's not permanent. A lot of people think it's permanent. A lot of people think, well, this is life. Life is about just being a natural person, eating, sleeping, mating, having a nice big family, just spending my whole life doing that. See, that's one of the illusions that need to be dispelled. See, so anyway, the Vaishnava books and also the Vaishnava preceptor, the real ones, dispel our illusion. Yeah. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as the source of everything. See? So with that kind of faith, you see there. Now, if you understand the glories of a special person, then you'll want to be close to them, right? Why wouldn't you? Everybody wants to be close to special people. Look at how many people, people think that persons like Michael Jackson, pop stars are special people. Well, they're special amongst the non-liberated souls. See? But that specialness is just temporary. It's just temporary. See? But what's really special is a devotee. See? A devotee who is actually a liberated soul. Because by their association, our illusions get dispelled. By their association, the knots causing us to take endless births and deaths in this world is ended. Now, isn't that pretty special? Now, who wouldn't want to be around a person like that? Everybody that's on the spiritual path would say, obviously, of course I would. See? But the whole problem is they can't recognize somebody who could end the cycle of birth and death by their empowered preaching. They can't recognize that, therefore they can't take advantage. But whoever does, get set free, and then they become a witness to help those others who can't see. They cannot see it, and then they end up taking the association, are set free also. Isn't that the system that Lord Chaitanya used? Isn't that the system that Jesus Christ used? At first, people at the end turned against him. Okay? But those who didn't became witnesses, and they inspired others to take the association of those teachings that Jesus Christ left. And we're set free also. How are you set free? You get the Spirit of the Lord gives himself to you in the form of the spiritual potency. Okay? Oh. Arjuna is very enlightened, like Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as a source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. And you know who else did that? Was Advaita Acharya. He requested the Lord to show his universal form to help others develop faith in Lord Chaitanya. See, because if you develop faith in a great personality that you can't recognize because you're covered by Mahamaya, and if you develop somehow or other by the preaching of the witnesses, you develop faith to take association and hear from those who have realized the highest platform of devotional service, then very quickly those persons who didn't believe before, who are now coming to believe, also become liberated. See, that's the beautiful job of the witness, man. Do something that I can't even do. Anybody who convinces others to come into our Sangha's association, not only with me now, but also with the devotees who are getting liberated and showing the symptoms and signs, and show that they're actually also conforming to the map in the book. Okay? That kind of conforming is good. Meena says, just came back from St. Augustine Rath Yatra. Passed out at least 100 mantra cards for, oh wow, oh wow. Amazing. Wow, great, thanks Meena. Let's see what happens. We may get hundreds of critics coming on, but if we even get one out of those 100, hey man, you've saved a soul. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in the chapter to show his universal form. So, see, and so that goes for Krishna to establish. Krishna's divinity is established. People believe. See, they believe in that. But that's not quite enough to get the full result. The purification is more slow that way. The full result comes by, aligning with the map. The map says, by equal faith in a bona fide spiritual master who has actually realized Krishna and Krishna. Now that's the formula. When you do that, what happens? Now you can understand Prabhupada's books on the spiritual platform and relish them. See? Relish the bliss that Prabhupada experienced even reading his own books. You can also do that. Why? Because you have equal faith in the spiritual master and Krishna. See? Just like he had equal faith in his guru and Krishna, and he could, he didn't have a lot of these desires, for material stuff, so he very quickly had the result. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into his original form. See? Original form. You know, it's amazing is the original form of Krishna is the antithesis, the opposite of the illusory form. See, that's why when we get the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we find that this is spontaneous, natural devotional service is really natural to us. Just because, you know, it's natural for us to worship the Lord in His Maya. When you're in Maya, when you're covered by the Maya, it becomes your nature to worship your family, your kids, you know, spend all your time meditating on that. Consider your children your life and soul, and will even die for your child. Look in the movies. I just was watching one. The lady she sacrificed everything for her child. Yeah, everything. See? So that's inherent in us, to sacrifice for Krishna, even an illusion. Okay? So when the spiritual potency is awakened in us, then we feel that way with the Lord. The Lord becomes our life and soul, and more dear to us than our own self. Kind of like this, I'm a little bit tired now. I wonder why. Probably because I was sitting in hot pools. Maybe I need to do a song or something. Let me do a song. Maybe this will wake me up. So let's try it here. Or maybe I'll just have to take a nap. Let's see. Let's try it out anyway. Let's try some classic rock. There we go. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I think I got to take a little nap here. I'm a little bit tired. Okay, my friends, thank you very much, and I'll be back. I'm sure somebody else will be on, probably. And then in the meantime, I'll rest a little bit and then come back here. Hare Krishna.